Next, the new sex ed. College girls getting paid to date to pay off student loans. But what's the real price?
I was directly asked, would you have sex with me?
Sugar babies. When we come back.
You've all heard the expression, arm candy, say a wealthy older man with a younger, beautiful woman or a trophy wife. But these days, the candy is getting younger. College girls drowning in student loans and resorting to sugar dating. Sugar daddies dating sugar babies. But what happens after dessert when it's time to pick up the check? It is 6 o'clock in the evening. 24-year-old Christine Morris of New York City is doing what she loves best.
I dreamed about being a singer, playing in an orchestra, going to school, getting my degree.
That lifelong passion earned her a spot at a prestigious school of music. But as she inched closer to graduation, reality set in.
I had just taken out too many student loans. I couldn't take out any more.
How much is tuition?
Roughly $10,000 a semester. At one point, I had 3 jobs.
Where did that leave time for school?
It didn't.
Just 1 semester shy of her bachelor's degree, Christine left school. But so far, waiting tables isn't adding up to the big bucks she desperately needs. So tonight, Christine is trying something different. She's going to have dinner with a man she met here on a website called seekingarrangement.com. It's one of several sugar daddy sites where men can hook up with potential sugar babies, younger women who want to be supported financially in exchange for their companionship. So what made you decide to try this?
I needed money and I wanted to try and save up to get myself back in school.
And she's not alone. The fastest growing population on the site today, according to the company, it's college students. And some speculate it's the direct result of skyrocketing tuition costs and student debt. In fact, Seeking Arrangement now targets college sugar babies, which in turn attracts sugar daddies who pay as much as $2,500 to sign up. Who are these men?
Wall Street men, businessmen, lawyers.
How old in general are these guys?
Most of them have been in their 40s.
For a few decades.
Yeah, exactly.
Melanie Berlier, a freelance writer based in New York City, went undercover, dating men from the site to write an expose for Vanity Fair.
The distinguishing characteristic of a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship is that you openly discuss the financial component of the relationship.
Right up front.
Right up front and throughout.
One man Berlier met said in his profile that he was willing to spend $10,000 to $20,000 a month. No doubt attractive to college graduates who now shoulder an average of $25,000 of debt. Seeking Arrangement gave 2020 a list of the schools it says have the highest number of sugar babies, and some of the names might surprise you. NYU at number 1, and even Harvard makes the top 10. It's easier for me to understand why young women would be willing to do this. They need the money.
Right.
Why are men willing to do this?
I found that it was a lot of men who were very well aware that their resources could be used by younger women, and how else would these men meet these younger women?
I know you've heard the term arm candy. Is that what some of these women are?
Yes, in the same vein as what a trophy wife is.
Richard, a Las Vegas sugar daddy in his 50s who asked not to be identified, says these arrangements are a win-win for everyone.
You can afford to help somebody and give them a better life, and in turn they give you a whole bunch of fun and companionship you might not achieve otherwise. That's a good return.
But companionship can mean different things to different people. How much of it involves sex?
Most men expected some sexual relationship.
How overt were they about that?
I was directly asked, would you have sex with me? So pretty overt. But this certainly isn't like prostitution. It was more akin to renting a girlfriend.
But if there is sex going on in exchange for money, isn't that prostitution?
You could say that there's a lack of romance, but I don't know. It's a necessary reality for those people involved in it.
You said in your description, I'm looking for a mutually beneficial relationship. Mm-hmm. What does that mean exactly?
I'm basically trading companionship for money. I mean, a lot of these guys will just pay for pretty girls to have dinner with them.
But surely you must have thought there might be an expectation of sex being involved.
With some of them there is, but I also make known that that's not my expectation.
But you don't exactly say sex is out of the question.
Right.
Sex isn't a given, it is earned, says Pixie, a 23-year-old sugar baby from New York.
Sex would have to come just like any other relationship, step by step.
But the financial transaction, she says, isn't tied to the sex.
You know, they'll bring an envelope and just put it in your purse while you're not looking. Or sometimes they'll just say, honey, do you need anything besides the allowance?
Pixie now says she has plans to go to law school, so she's looking for a new arrangement.
Yeah. I tell them whatever amount I need, $8,000, $9,000 a month. For some men, really, that's not a lot of money. Plus, a wife costs a lot more.
Christine hasn't made anything close to that yet. She says she averages $100 to $500 a date. Do your parents know you're doing this?
They don't.
Well, I think they might now.
They might.
Back in the book segment tonight, love and money. A study out of Michigan says that money is number 2 behind personality and humor in what women are looking for in a man. And anecdotal evidence suggests that many American women are attracted to guys who have big bucks. Joining us now from Atlanta is Ledra Lawson, author of the book Sugar Daddy 101, What You Need to Know If You Want to Be a Sugar Baby. Isn't a sugar baby a candy? I remember when I was a kid, they had this little tar candy. One of those sugar babies? Do you remember that? Or am I delirious? All right, you don't remember. Now look, Miss Lawson, this is shallow. This is shallow. Sugar baby,
no.
sugar daddy. What's this?
No, it is not shallow. This has been going on for quite a bit. And I'm just talking about things that women talk about, they experience themselves. It's not shallow at all.
Come on. Going out with a guy because he has money and can buy you stuff, you're telling me that's not shallow?
Well, no, there are other components to it besides the money.
Like
I mean,
what?
I think that you should have chemistry. You should be friends, get along, because it's not going to be long term if you're just thinking about money or if the man's just thinking about sex. It won't work that way long term.
Oh, fine. You can be friends. You can get along. But let's face it. I mean, we're looking at Donald Trump now. He's a very wealthy man, but he's a fairly presentable guy, and then he's got the young babe. But, you know, let's say Hugh Hefner. Do we have shots of Hugh? I'm sure we do. Hugh
I was at the Playboy party. I saw Hugh.
All right, so you're at the Playboy party. Okay. Now, look. He's a smart guy, Hefner. I talked to him. I mean, he can carry on a conversation. He knows a lot about a lot of things. But you think these women would be there for 1 second if he couldn't help them financially or in their career? Do you think they'd be pounding on Hugh's door going, hey, come on, let's go to the movies? Come on.
Well, I'm sure if he was a total rat, then no. I mean, because it won't last very long if a person's very mean. There are a lot of components that go into this, Bill. I'm telling you.
What I'm trying to say to you, look,
one-sided.
The rich old guys are going to take advantage of this, all right? They are. That's just human nature. But I'm worried about the women. I'm looking out for the ladies. You know, and I think that if you get into the sugar baby deal, this is not good for you anyway.
Well, I disagree. The women are looking after themselves. I know plenty of women that have funded their way through law school, their businesses, saved for retirement. So they are looking after themselves and their children and their families with this sort of lifestyle.
So
it doesn't
aren't
have
they
to be
selling
long-term.
themselves for money, though?
No, of course not.
No?
They're creating an opportunity to free up time and to achieve goals.
Do you really think it's psychologically healthy for a woman to go out with a guy just because of money? Don't you get hardened? Don't you lose some of your romantic soul by doing that?
No, yeah, you're hard if you're dating a guy that you don't like. I mean, the guy that I've been dating for most of my adult life, I mean, I care for him. He's a very good guy.
Is he a rich guy?
Yeah, he's wealthy.
Yeah, is he older than you?
Yeah, he's 55.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Oh. All right, look, I'm not going to say what you're doing is wrong. I'm just saying there's a downside here that you don't have in your book. You make it look like it's all fun and games. Maybe you can handle this emotionally. But if you start looking for guys because of what they're going to do for you, what they're going to buy you, you lose a little piece of your soul, Miss Lawson, doing that. Because I know these hard babes do that. And I see them. I know what happens there. And it's not good for you emotionally. I'll give you the last word.
Well, I think that you do have to be well-rounded and independent. I do stress that in the book, that you need to be independent and not just totally depending on a man. So that way you're not hardened and you're smart and you're taking care of your life.
All right, there you go. Ms. Lawson, thanks very
Line. It may look like an ordinary dating site, but it is full of broke, gorgeous college girls and scores of generous older men seeking sugar babies. From paying tuition to buying designer duds, inside the world of trading cash for companionship. Good evening, I'm Bill Weir. You know, some birds woo their mates with fresh-caught fish. Chimps offer meat. To objects of their affection, humans opt for pretty rocks. Across the animal kingdom, gifts are an integral part of the mating ritual. And now one website is cutting straight to the give and take, connecting broke college girls with rich older men to trade their youth and beauty for cash and prizes. So, is it prostitution or a brutally honest search for happiness? Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
At a time when almost anything can be ordered online with one click and then delivered to your house.
Where's Tommy? He's out back.
For the right price and legally, so too can a beautiful college student.
How are you today? Good to see you.
Meet 63-year-old Tommy and 21-year-old Monty. They've been together for 2 years.
Oh, I'm just not. Yeah.
Oh, hole in one!
Oh, I love them.
Well, yeah, they look great.
They're fun.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you for them.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.
They refer to each other as Sugar Daddy and Sugar Baby.
Can we kiss? Well, that's like high five, right?
Yeah.
Except it's a lot better.
It's powerful.
When she needs money, Tommy's her go-to guy. And for Monty, who asks we only shoot her in profile, it's a way to get the education she can't afford.
He's like, I can help you get through school easy. And you just travel with me, have fun, be around me, and just keep me company. And I said, sure, you're going to pay for my school?
We observed that being a sugar baby comes with other perks.
We're going to do a little shopping today.
Tommy told us he drops $5 grand a month on Monty.
Ooh.
Isn't that hot?
Perfect.
Yeah?
Yes.
They're the tight-fitting pants. These earrings with a pair of high-heel shoes, great outfit. Oh, goodness. Whoa. God. Did you say 387?
387.25.
Fine.
And it's not just Monty. He's got 6 other sugar babies.
Thank you so much.
This is what we call the lost and found drawer. This is what some of my lovely sugar babies have left behind.
Tommy was an IT executive who retired with enough to spend about $150,000 a year on the ladies combined. Cheaper than a marriage, he says, and a small price to pay for what he gets.
When you walk into a room and you have a beautiful woman with you, it's a compliment to you as a male. It's like pulling up in a really nice car or something, you know. I hate to compare that way, but it is. It has a good feel to it.
So Monty's like a really nice car.
Yeah.
For Monty, the relationship is a stepping stone into the world.
He taught me how to golf, cook, be a classy woman. He's just transferred me fast into something that I've always wanted to become.
When was the last time you had a job?
Almost 2 years ago. I'm just having fun. I'm just living life and experiencing stuff that I feel like I would never experience without him.
If there were no sex involved with Monty or your other sugar babies, would you still bring them around for companionship and still give them money?
No. I mean, that's a big attraction, you know.
Sexually, how have things been different for you? I mean, he's much older than you.
I would never experience without him.
If there were no sex involved with Monty or your other sugar babies, would you still bring them around for companionship and still give them money?
No. I mean, that's a big attraction, you know.
Sexually, how have things been different for you? I mean, he's much older than you.
It is what it is. We all mature, so I know I'm going to be old one day, and I hope I get loving too.
Are you paying for sex with a young girl?
Well, you know, you pay somehow, somewhere for sex, no matter what it is. You know, they say wives do it for refrigerators. You could look at, I mean, I'm sure there's somebody right now and saying that's exactly what this is. And if they want to say that, they can say that.
Mm-hmm. Tommy is 3 times divorced and is the father of 2 young adults around Monty's age. He meets many of his sugar babies on seekingarrangement.com. How is it different than prostitution?
If we're talking about exchange for money for sex, I don't see that this way. It's just not a wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
The courts have decreed that as long as a woman is being paid for services besides sex, such as companionship, the act does not classify as prostitution, an argument the website owner also makes.
If the sugar daddy is in fact meeting a girl simply for sex in exchange for money, then they're using the website in violation of our terms of agreement.
Wade says 90% of the 1.5 million registered members are sugar daddies, 10% sugar babies.
It is really about a romantic relationship between two people. The only difference is the sugar daddy is somebody who is very wealthy.
But you don't have to be a millionaire like Tommy to be a sugar daddy.
There's sugar babies on different levels. You know, you've got your Walmart sugar babies and you got your Neiman Marcus sugar babies, and it's which ones you want to shop at.
Or those who shop at Target, like 24-year-old sugar baby Olympia.
I love this dress.
Dave, Mike, and Q.
A full-time student at a broadcasting school in Denver.
100% of my school fees, which is $15,000, is paid for by sugar daddies.
Olympia's been a sugar baby since she was 19.
I've gotten to go to the Caribbean. I've gotten to travel all across the nation. I just got some brand new boobs. Life's great.
And is a pro at juggling several sugar daddies at a time.
I'm about to go meet a prospective sugar daddy. He has potential. He's really nice, easy to be around, easygoing.
After dinner, it's time to pack for a long weekend in Louisiana, where she's meeting up with her main sugar daddy, Larry. How you doing, bro? Except this is Kenny, Olympia's secondary sugar daddy, who's come by the airport to see her off. The encounter is short.
You need cash? You need some money?
Yes.
There.
But for Olympia, lucrative.
Thank you. Larry!
This is the first time Larry and Olympia have seen each other in 6 weeks. Larry is a Mormon from Utah.
You are a ball.
They've been in a sugar baby daddy relationship for 1.5 years and claim their relationship is not what you might expect.
Is there sex in this relationship?
No.
No sex?
Not at this point. And we don't believe in having premarital sex.
Is this like a perfect scenario for you?
Oh, yeah.
Which is have someone who gives you money and you don't have to sleep with them.
Have somebody that gives me money. I don't have to sleep with them. They respect me. They let me be myself. Yeah. It's a dream.
A dream that comes at a cost.
Sometimes it gets to me to know that he is my only way of income, and that makes me feel like, you know, I'm not really doing anything.
Sometimes being in a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship, it does get lonely for me because I can't always, that person can't always be there for me when I need them to be.
An emotional loss they believe is worth the financial gain. For Nightline, I'm Alex Perez in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Babies, sugar daddies, and sugar mommies. Now, if you missed that episode, let me explain. There are a lot of websites out there that connect wealthy individuals, male and female, with younger individuals, male and female, looking for someone to help them out financially. Now, the exchange probably depends on the relationship, but I think it's safe to say that it's at least companionship, in most cases, sex. Now, these websites have existed for a number of years, but with the tough economy, the numbers are shooting up. One site called Seeking Arrangement claims to have 800,000 members now. And about 35% of those, they say, are students trying to pay their way through school. So is this prostitution? Is it wrong? And what does it say about our country when so many young people, mostly women, feel that it's the only thing they can turn to? Joining me from our studio in New York is writer Melanie Burliette, who documented her own experience using Seeking Arrangement for Vanity Fair. Melanie, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And like I said, you tried this out. So I just want to know, how did you feel about it? Is this prostitution, but just with a cuter name?
Well, my feeling when it comes to human relationships is that there are always economic undercurrents. When it comes to companionship and sex, there's always something being exchanged, whether it's a meal, a back massage, or a diamond engagement ring. So the lines are definitely blurry, and for me, the more important question is, why, as a society, are we fixated on moralizing sex?
Well, I think you make a really good point there because, you know, like I said, these websites have been around for a while. You actually wrote about this in 2010. But now that they seem to be seeing such an uptick in customers and especially young students, everybody wants to debate it again and ask if it's right or if it's wrong. So after going through it yourself, do you think that it's totally fine? Would you encourage, you know, other women to look for sugar daddies?
I think it all depends on an individual situation. I've never been in the business of bad and good, so I would never outright say that it is either good or bad. I think that what you spoke to in regards to the economy makes total sense. Need definitely breeds you know, flexibility in a person's boundaries, probably. So I'm not surprised to hear that the interest is increasing currently, and as you said, also it's always been present and it will always be present. The internet has just created a widespread platform and easier access for people on either end who are interested in such relationships to be paired together.
So tell us more about the relationships that you actually had, or the men that you encountered when you went out, you know, I guess trying to go to seeking arrangement and looking for money. I mean, was it very straightforward? You sit down and he gives you cash or gives you a credit card and then go to the house?
You know, it really varied. I met a whole slew of different kinds of men. My experiences were checkered. I met people who totally misrepresented themselves, as I'm sure, you know, happens on any internet dating site. And I met total gentlemen who, you know, I count as friends to this day. And I think each relationship depends upon the two parties involved. The site sort of encourages you to outline the terms on your own, whether that means that you meet a person and you're handed cash immediately, or in one case, I was given an iPod for some reason when I sat down to brunch, and that was a welcome gift, but certainly not part of the deal. So, you know, I had guys who wanted to take me shopping and lavish me with gifts, but not pay me cash outright because I suppose they had some sort of, you know, personal boundary for one reason or another. So it totally depends on each individual's desire in how to manage the relationship, I think.
Now, overall, though, the ratio, I think, is about 10-to-1 in terms of the sugar babies, the people that are looking for cash on these websites versus those that are willing to dole it out. And I also know that there's many more women that are the ones looking for cash. There are a few sugar mommies, I guess is what they call them, on these websites. But so, you know, what do you think that says about the culture? Why aren't guys lining up to try to find wealthy older women to take care of them or pay their way through school?
You know, that's a very good point, and I don't know. I think you know, it all has to do with how we're conditioned by society, and traditionally, let's face it, the man has been responsible in most cases for providing, whereas the woman has had a different role traditionally. So I think that's just a natural extension of the way things have been operating for years.
Guys lining up to try to find wealthy older women to take care of them or pay their way through school.
You know, that's a very good point, and I don't know. I think you know, it all has to do with how we're conditioned by society, and traditionally, let's face it, the man has been responsible in most cases for providing, whereas the woman has had a different role traditionally. So I think that's just a natural extension of the way things have been operating for years. I'm sure a lot of men have personal hang-ups and might very well like to earn cash for dating, but perhaps are prevented just because they're too timid.
Now, if we bring this back to the economy, because you and I have just been discussing how this has existed for a long time. You could say that there are a lot of relationships out there, you know, where people are accused of being gold diggers and whatnot. But now that we see this huge spike in people, one of the websites for seeking arrangement specifically has 800,000 members now, and young people are just doing this to try to pay their way through schools. Do you think that says something wrong about our country, though, that school is so expensive that this is what you have to do now?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with our country. I think people are probably more aware of the phenomenon because it's becoming increasingly popular. It's just getting more and more press. And certainly the economy is breeding the desire for women saddled with student loans to try this, but I don't think it's a statement about, you know, the moral, you know, evolution of the nation at all.
Now, since you wrote this piece back in 2010, have you followed up with anyone else that you met, any other women that were sugar babies and looking for sugar mommies and daddies, and seen if any of those experiences have ever worked out for them? And does anybody have a long, meaningful relationship from this?
You know, I do not know any other women personally who have used seeking arrangement. However, I will say that I have a lot of friends who have accepted very pricey diamond engagement rings from their fiancés. And I'm not sure how to differentiate between the two all the time. And I would challenge people to consider the difference if there is.
Money, good sex, and all the perks without the downside of relationship.
That's 100% accurate. I get to pick who I see. I can take the best aspects of any relationship, take all that out, and then just have it whenever I want it. Aside from then, you know, I'm like having like a regular boyfriend that you would date, and oh, what do you know, he's wealthy. You don't know when you're going to get a present. You don't know when you're going to get sex. You don't know when you're going to like have things. You know, this way it's just already set up, set in stone. And then I also don't have the emotional responsibility to somebody of, you know, you care about these people, but...
And you date married men?
If they're married, that's their business.
So, well, actually, it's your business. It's their...
I don't consider it a business. It's a lifestyle, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. And you're pulling in about $4,000 or $5,000 a month?
Approximately, yes.
Wow. Okay. Are y'all hookers?
No, absolutely not. Hookers stand on the corner and give for $20. We get thousands and thousands of dollars just to hang out with someone and go to dinner with them. Hookers stand on the corner and give for $20. We get thousands and thousands of dollars just to hang out with someone and go. No, absolutely not. Hookers stand on the corner and give for $20. We get thousands and thousands of dollars just to hang out with someone and go to dinner with them. Hookers can't do that.
I think I think seeking arrangement sets the bar a little higher from a Backpage or a Craigslist per se. There's been a lot of media about that. This site sets us apart from that. It's a mutually beneficial relationship for both parties, and that's how I view it.
I don't even sleep with all of them, so if I'm a hooker, sleep or do sexual things, if I'm not doing anything sexual, how is that prostitution or hooking?
You said the married men just don't want to be with their old ugly wives, right?
Not necessarily.
That's what you said?
Yeah, sometimes they don't want to be with their old ugly wives. They want to hang out with someone that's 21 and can actually entertain them and make them...
But you're selling services.
I'm selling my hotness, so... If you got it, flaunt it. And if I can flaunt it and get paid for it, why not?
Oh, wow, I could think of a few reasons why not.